meeting of January 11th, 2016. And the first thing on the agenda tonight is swearing in a new police chief. So Michael, Mr. Reed, could you please come forward?
All right. Repeat after me. I, Arthur Reed, do solemnly swear
I, Arthur Reed, do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to,
and will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
and will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
that I will oppose the overthrow of the government of the United States of America or of this Commonwealth by force,
that I will oppose the overthrow of the government of the United States of America or of this Commonwealth by force,
violence, or by any illegal or unconstitutional method,
by violence, or by any other illegal or unconstitutional method,
and that I will fairly and equitably execute and enforce the laws thereof
that I will fairly and equitably execute and enforce the laws thereof
within the extent of my authority and jurisdiction.
with the extent of my authority and jurisdiction.
I do solemnly swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform all duties incumbent upon me as Chief of Police of the town of West Newbury,
I do solemnly swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform all duties incumbent upon me as the Chief of Police for the town of West Newbury.
and I hereby accept the position of Chief of Police of the town of West Newbury.
And I duly accepted the position of Chief of Police for the town of West Newbury.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
I'll use the special police chief pen.
Oh, okay. And that's your copy.
Okay.
Okay, now you have your opening address, right?
It sounded like
We talked about that, didn't we?
Congratulations.
So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody else for coming out tonight to see me, and obviously I want to welcome the men and women of the Newbury, West Newbury Police Department. I look forward to working with all of you, and it will be time for me to get to know all of you, and it's going to be a great experience, and I'm looking for input from everybody from the town as well as the police department. So again, thanks for coming out, family, friends, and residents of West Newbury. Thanks again.
Yeah. That wasn't 20 minutes. I'm sorry. We don't have cake or coffee.
Agreed for the town employees and members of the staff. We'll be over here for 1 o'clock without filling the copy.
Thanks for coming by, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, no, let's go. Okay, I think Archie is under the assumption. He's picking the website.
Checking the website doesn't matter. The posting that's down there is the only thing that matters. Oh. Oh, working on it. Oh, okay. I thought you said to start posting. Okay.
Michael had said that there was going to be standing around and talking for a while. The first thing, Marge and Tom, when they're coming in at 7. I don't know when the others are coming in. Unless they didn't look at posted. We could do the other stuff.
You guys can do the meeting.
quiet.
I'll send you a reminder tomorrow.
He looks busy. He's always busy. Okay, so we just all stand around and wait.
Can you see if you, can you tell if you got this on that computer?
No, I don't know where there's no email.
So, would you mind going into the office and printing, so we can give it to the, who's the senior and Mary coming in?
Yes.
Feel weird, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm liking it though.
It's a good weird.
No stress.
How many phone calls have you got, police related phone calls have you got, and said, hey, sorry, I'm not the chief anymore?
None.
None? Right.
He's very confident being there.
That's right.
Gary, Bill, Bertnold, what, discussion of what emergency generator?
The one they want us to buy.
The one we brought up a few years ago.
Is that for here or for there or for what?
Well, Bert's coming in because he wants it for there, that's the only reason I asked. And ours works fine, why can't they buy one themselves?
If they want one from, excuse me, for there, why are they coming in here?
Exactly,
They want
that's
for
what
what?
I'm asking.
If they want one for just them, why are they coming here? It's not our problem. Unless we do it jointly. I think he wanted to do the joint thing like they proposed a few years ago.
No. Ours works fine,
Huh?
ours works fine.
No, they ain't doing that.
Exactly,
Burdens,
exactly,
How old is ours?
exactly. Why do we spend money when we don't need it? Fix it.
pushing probably 30 years old.
30 years old?
It's a diesel engine,
No,
no
no,
less.
no, no.
Is it gas?
It's propane.
Propane.
Original one on
Oh, those are even better.
That was put in when when the police were downstairs.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Forget this housing. Is that adequate for here?
No.
Yes. We've never had a problem.
Depends on what you wanna do with it.
Turn the lights on and keep the heat on.
It's more than enough, because it even runs computers and backs up and all that kind of stuff too.
It does not run the heat. It's only a single phase generator, we've got 3-phase circulators.
We don't need it.
It's up to you guys, whatever you guys, I'm all.
I'm not.
30 years, we've never needed it.
Well,
We've had
it's
some pretty
working.
bad things.
No, you've used it. You've had. Are you guys sure that you have, internet connection?
Well, it runs the emergency lighting and that stuff.
Are
It's
you
all-
sure that you guys are,
Live?
yeah?
Here we are, fine.
Because I just can't connect anything here, so I was wondering.
I was given the text that we're set and ready to go.
All right.
You have it? It's 5:57, meeting live and recording.
Yeah, I'm on.
You're on, so it's me, okay.
Pete? Everything go smooth?
Now I'm on.
Come on up, Chelsea.
Am I all alone? Where's the suckage?
I don't know, it's not my responsibility. We'll come up and we have the test and the situation we usually have. And then we have to see if we can beat me in running upstairs.
Yes.
How are you?
Good,
I figured you're here, why not come up?
sure.
I mean, is there anybody still here? I mean, who's,
They said they were coming back at 7.
are
I just.
they down there?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute,
The
they get
one
Durant.
that is glass.
Hold on, Durant's that one.
They start at 6:30, so we're gonna get going here with things,
Are you guys covering the intergenerational, center, by the way,
yes,
tonight?
we are, they're coming in at 7.
7.
Yeah, he's
They're
coming.
coming in at 7.
Okay, thank you.
So did you convene the meeting? Was there any microphone there?
Yes,
Oh, what?
they're all on. Mine is on too.
Hello?
Chief,
How are you?
good? What's up? We have Kelsey Grenham here. She's a part-time dispatcher for the department now. She's been training since July. She was sworn in as a part-time dispatcher in November. She lives in Groveland. She has a bachelor's degree out of Suffolk University in CJ, and she's interested in filling a full-time dispatch position for the town.
And this would be the third, we have two, so
Yes.
this would be number 3, full-time?
Yes.
Anything you want to say, Kelsey?
I'm very excited to start.
Cool. How was the training? Adequate, you feel, that the job? Extensive?
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw that you worked in Everett.
Yep.
I mean, how does it compare? Did you do any type of training in Everett?
I was just an intern there, so kind of an overview of the department.
Cool.
You feel okay that somebody calls you at 2:03 a.m. and is having a heart attack, that you know what to do?
Yep.
Okay.
She had a 911 medical this afternoon. It was pretty serious. She handled it well.
Oh, you had one today?
Yes.
Oh. Good.
Good.
Great.
All right.
You want to make a motion, anybody? Kelsey, make a motion that Kelsey, is it Grenham?
Grenham, yep.
Is appointed to a full-time dispatcher.
Second.
But generally, don't we generally have a
Your
Is
way.
there an
Yeah,
end
you-
date?
Yeah.
Is it a one-year appointment? Is it to the June
I
or
have no idea. I don't know.
retired chief?
What's the
Holmes?
answer?
You wanna do it till June and then June do it for the 3 years? Or 2 years? 2 years. We've been doing the full-time dispatches for 3 years to coincide with the contract, but.
So through June 15th, 2016.
Okay, why don't we do that? I mean, it's just the same thing. It's not like you have to come in again to be appointed and stuff like that. So it's been moved and seconded to June 15, 2016.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome full-time.
We hope you're here for a long time.
Congratulations.
Do you have more of these? Oh, no. Do you have any? You have more of these? How many did you do? Okay. Well, I wanted to give one to Jeff, and I wanted to give one to Sergeant Cena. Is this goes to the security thing we're talking about? Yeah, I already took my staple out. If you want, if it's easier.
Is it in my packet?
No. Can you get one for Jen too? This is the press release that about the security. The press release that Mount Queen thing. Okay, you want to since Sergeant Cena and Acting Chief Durant is here, want to take them now?
Yep.
Why don't you guys come on up? She's actually,
All set already. You're all set.
she's actually copying some information that the superintendent sent out as a press release, whatever about security and how they've handled it, and they feel that everything's been perfectly done and all that stuff. So I just wanted to give it to you guys because
Okay.
it references the West Newbury Police Department. I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page when he's saying the training's up to date and stuff. So we don't have to talk about that tonight because I'm just giving it to you.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind you guys looking at it and making sure that what on that piece of paper is actually happening, and if you feel that
They're living up to it.
living up to it,
Yeah.
and or if we can do more.
Okay.
Wait, so
Take a look at mine while we're here.
if you want, yeah. So you want to do you want to talk to us a little bit, and then we can talk
Sure.
about this?
That's what we just got.
Okay, so obviously we had something to come up. We're getting one for you too, Dan. You're gonna bring one in for you too. So through the years, there's been some concern from our police department. Just one more there. And then from the selectmen, that we just make sure that our buildings are secure and safe, and security and training for evacuation and so forth, and a lot of things I probably don't even know about. But we just want to make sure that it's in place, that it's being done and stuff. So
Okay.
And I think our biggest concern was we've gotten feedback from like a lot of people about like unsecured buildings, open doors, things like that. So we wanted to talk
All right.
directly with you.
Let me address the open doors or unsecured buildings first. I was asked to bring reports from the high school and the middle school. So I went back to September 1st of this year to January 1st, so we can have a number of events that happened. Now, as I look through the logs for both schools, our schools are obviously checked 24 hours a day by the patrols.
And we're talking about the high school and the middle school.
Yes.
I just have to make sure people understand
Yep.
that when you talk. Yep.
So a lot of the log entries will reference open windows or open doors, and some of those are at night when the maintenance staff is working, there's no students there. The open windows is kind of a moot point. That's what windows are for, to open, get some ventilation in the building. So I'll just address open doors. Since September 1st at the middle school, there's only been 6 doors found unsecured since September 1st.
Okay.
The high school's a little bit of a different situation. Since September 1st, there's been 43 doors that were found unsecured. And I'd like to say that about half of those doors at the high school, it's the locker room door from the boys' locker room to the outside. So 16 times that one particular door was left open or unsecured. The staff at both the middle school and the high school, they've been instructed by the superintendent to check the doors. They are checked between all the periods. After the article was in the paper this past month, my understanding is he put out another directive to the staff to make sure that they're checked and secured.
So what's your procedure? You're doing a security check, you find an open door.
We'll go into the schools, like the Page School. I'll walk around the exterior of the building and check all the doors. I have found no issues up at the Page School. There was a problem with a kitchen door, with a mechanical problem with the lock, which has been taken care of. The Page School, I haven't really had any problems. Middle school, walk around on the inside of the school, check all the doors. Like I said, they're right there. They had an issue with a cafeteria door at the middle school with a mechanical problem that's been rectified. And in the high school, I do go in the high school. Usually the other officer checks that on the day shift. And like I said, they have found more doors open there. But again, once they find an unsecured door, it's reported to the front office and secured, or to the maintenance staff and secured.
So like if it's yesterday on a weekend, that dispatch calls them and they send somebody down to lock
Right.
it?
They sent someone down to secure it. But if it's during the school day, we'll let somebody at the school know, secure the door, and then we'll have dispatch log.
Do you check, like, what if somebody went in the building? You check the building, or?
Well, like I said, at the middle school, we walk around on the inside. We haven't like gone through the school, during the school day.
Yeah, no, like, yes.
If there was anybody in there, it would have been reported by staff.
And these aren't just open. I mean, these are doors that even are all, they're propped open, they're wide open. They're not even just unlocked.
I'd say that there's some that are propped open. Most of them didn't close correctly, or the locks didn't catch. So they had closed, and one of the issues is a lot of movement with students between the high school and the middle school.
Yep, they do have an open campus.
So
They go back and forth for classes.
But the staff, they do check the doors regularly throughout the day.
So our concern, obviously, is that the building's secure, that people can't get into the building that aren't supposed to be into the building and cause harm to individuals or to the actual building, both. And we want to try to work with the school department and try to rectify this. I mean, and I guess, do you have any suggestions on this? I mean, they're gonna say that, you know, we need new locks and.
Well, I think part of the problem that we're dealing with is older buildings. You know, if it's a newer school, the doors are alarmed, there's modern camera systems. There's usually only 1 or 2 entry/exit points, and it's monitored by someone sitting there.
Like at the Page.
At the Page, and like I've been to the new Danvers school, and there's actually someone that monitors. They have, you know, all the doors on cameras. I know, you know, that's a lot of money to try to retrofit on older buildings.
Archie, did you-
I was just gonna say, I often run around the buildings in the evening, and I don't have my phone, for the once in my life, I forgot my phone. I took a picture about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there, the middle school gym, sort of the Groveland end, down there, even in December, there was still a weight out there, which is obviously what people are using to prop the door open, because there's no other reason to have a weight out right by the door. So we gotta be vigilant in not having the opportunity. If there isn't a weight there, then someone won't be able to do it. We just sort of have to be vigilant about that.
Right, I think what's going on, there's a lot of after-school activities and weekend activities.
Right.
Basketball and, you know, like I said, if they're older buildings, there's not a lot of ventilation, there's no air conditioning. I've been in the gym, and there's been activities at night, and it gets very hot in there. So
I'm sure, yeah.
I think they're being propped open more after school hours is the point I'm trying to make than during the school hours.
But there is a problem with kids are in there, and there's a problem with open doors and people can get in. I mean, I don't know if I have a problem with it, but it's a concern that I have, that people can just walk into that high school or middle school, mostly the high school, at any time, and just walk around there. There's no security, the doors are open. I mean, people know who I am, but I have 2 kids that are there. I walk in freely through multiple doors. There's nobody stops you and say, can I help you? Where are you going? You walk through the whole school.
Well,
And I'm pretty hard to miss. I mean, for a bunch of reasons.
we haven't responded to any people that just walked in the school during the day. Not saying it can't happen. And if you pull on the lock doors hard enough, they're probably gonna pop open. You know, and then until, you know, everything's nice and new and shiny with cameras and alarms on the doors, you know, we just do the best we can with what we have.
Perfect.
Now,
So that's what I want to get to. Like, let's try to work it, and we can work in conjunction with them.
Perhaps like on the gym door at the high school, which is half of the open doors we found, if they have a crash bar with a local alarm on it, it doesn't go through an alarm company, but it has an audible sound in the school, so that the gym people can hear it and go, they're gonna know the door's been opened. And like I said, I think the locker room door keeps being open for a particular reason, just to get fresh air in there, and.
Or they're going out to the field and coming
Right.
back in. But no, I love these suggestions, because we were going to try to come up with some, and we're going to try to meet or send something to the school committee and ask them if they can work with us to just try, we understand. Let's do the best we possibly can.
That's a good idea. I mean, do you have other thoughts, or Sergeant Cena, do you have any, or?
No, I think Jeff kind of summed it up. I think we do have to sit down and possibly roundtable it, you know, and just pool our ideas together and try to get it, you know, put it into motion, because there are some issues down there that do need to be addressed. But I think doing it in separate meetings is, you know, it's not really gonna, you know, there's always gonna be like a middleman. You kind of need to at least everyone sit down in the same room and with a list of issues and concerns and ideas, and maybe hash them out.
Okay. And you're willing to do that with us? I
Absolutely.
could go down with them. We just wanted to get our ducks in a row before we went down there.
I just want to say, my dealing with the staff and the faculty and the maintenance people at the schools, it's not, nobody takes these situations lightly. It's not lax. Nobody's looking the other way on it. The middle school has 25 doors by itself. The high school has more than that. You know, the high school, the kids have more freedom
25 doors.
to come and go.
25 doors, wow, okay.
So, I mean,
Wow.
in a day, it's possible to find something that didn't lock properly, like I said.
Yeah, but see, I think I can live with the middle school, because, like you said, things happen 6 times, maybe even a little bit more than that. But when you deal with 43 times, and there's only, from September, you have 15 probably school days in the, 20 school days in a month. I mean, that's almost one a day.
Right, there is a higher frequency there, but,
Mhm.
you have the older kids too, and they've given more freedom to come and go at the high school than they are at the middle school also.
Yep. I would agree with that.
And that's gonna lead to more doors being,
So if we get together with the superintendent's department or the school committee, and we will, obviously during the day sometime, can you guys, we can go down there, and we can hash some stuff out?
Yep.
Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, Jen?
Yeah, can I just, do you guys know, once the selectmen initially talked about it and it was reported publicly, was the incidents, decreased? Do you have any numbers on that?
I have the dates and, incidences here.
Could I get that from you?
Yes, you can. I haven't researched it. There's still been incidences since the article.
And a lot, or just?
I wouldn't say a lot.
Okay, but I'll get that from you?
Yes, you can have that.
And did Selectmen invite the school committee from West Newbury, or you're waiting on that?
Well, we wanted to get our ducks in a row, and then now we're going to.
Next step.
That's our next step. We're gonna talk to the school committee, and hopefully get a meeting with the superintendent. Generally, when we talk to the school committee, it goes directly, they tell us just to go to the superintendent, so that's probably where it's gonna land. Thanks, guys, for coming in, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Intergenerational Center, Marge Peterson and Tom. I don't see Tom, is he coming? He said 7, and it's only like 3 past, so why don't we wait? You want to talk about, Gary, you staying for the whole meeting, or you gonna, Bert, are you staying for the whole meeting, or are you gonna go after this generator thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Generator and a modern house lease to discuss.
So that's gonna be a little bit. Okay, you want to talk about the right of first refusal?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I think we discussed this last time, and we made a couple of modifications.
Yep. We just wanted to keep it on
Yes.
for, because
Yeah.
you were stuck in Pittsburgh,
Yeah, I know.
Pennsylvania somewhere.
So, I mean, I still do want to add a couple of paragraphs at the end in terms of what happens after the 120 days is over, but I think we potentially might have a couple of things come in the next couple of months. So I think what I'd like to do is approve what we have here, and
Throw it in an addendum later?
yeah, we could come back with a revision in a couple of months.
Okay, you have the version that says, for example, that says, Part 3 says FinCom on it, you have that one?
Yep.
Okay,
You feel comfortable with that?
yeah,
Just in case that comes in, this changes and addresses the beginning part of that process. What-
Most of the process.
Yeah, but yours will only, the
What you do
suggestions
af-
that you have would be at the end of the process.
Yeah, after we pass on the right of first refusal or accept it or assign it.
Okay.
So, okay, I move to approve draft 4 dated January 7th. It says 2015, I'm not sure about that, but draft 4, the procedure for chapter 61, 61A, 61B, right of first refusals for the town of West Newbury.
second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can you get that out to everybody who's, tell them that the new procedure, Chris, if you could get that out to everybody that was,
To the planning board?
yeah, because they spent a lot of time.
Open
with it.
space and planning, definitely. But
And I would say recreation.
but tell them I want to still talk, well, I'll do that, never mind.
Yep, okay. North Shore, Home Consortium? This comes up every year. Anybody? You understand it?
Yep.
Okay. Here's Tom. So we have to release the money. We have to vote to release it, put it back in. Is that all right with everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we release the North Shore Home Consortium
Second.
money. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I saw Tom here, so.
Oh, there he is.
Intergenerational Center, Marge Peterson and Tom Flaherty.
Right on cue.
It's almost like you're on the red carpet at the, come in, your name, and names and mounts. Hello.
Good evening.
Do we have a, before you leave, could you make sure Chris has your email? Has it changed?
No, I have
Okay. I sent you an email and it bounced back, and then I didn't realize it bounced back, but no big deal. And Chris was out sick, so
Do you want me to send it to you?
yeah, that'd be great, just tomorrow. I just had it in my head to ask because, and that, I had forgot because you were out the day that I, welcome.
Well, you asked us in.
Yes. Well, we had a conversation earlier on, way back when you invited us to lunch.
Right.
Thank you. We hope you do that again soon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that piqued my interest, and I think it piqued the interest of the other
Yep.
selectmen. So,
And you sent us a letter in November.
I did.
Yeah.
We're following up on that.
yeah, and so
In
we
November.
wanna kind of get this going, so to speak.
Good.
In
Okay.
some respect. And
Well,
I have
there
some
were a
ideas.
lot of different points that came up at that luncheon, and
Mhm.
the need, especially for more space for the senior center. We are really in desperate need of good, adequate space so that we can provide more programs. We're hoping that this is going to really step up a bit, and we're going to become more active.
What
and-
kind of space, like, just generally, like size-wise, are you talking about?
Well, we have a yoga program and a Zumba program, we have lunches.
So like a room like twice the size of this
You
one?
know,
or-
when we have yoga in this room, it can be pretty full.
So twice as,
Sometimes we get, yeah.
It's successful. It started
It's
out, and now it's successful. That's
now
what
it's
you want.
successful.
Now we're
Well, actually,
kind of
the
growing
size
out
the
of it.
room Without the tables would probably be adequate.
So
But
something like the annex.
the annex is too big.
Okay.
The annex is too big. But I think what we really are looking for, and Tom can come in on this, is something where where it can be intergenerational, where it's a multi-use building. Young people, the seniors, it's a new trend now, calling them community centers rather than senior centers. Also, since the last meeting and since this memo came out, Susan Babb at the library called me, and I think she spoke to you maybe?
She spoke to Chris and
sent a
saying
letter.
if
They
there's
are
a,
very interested in having more space. They are, you know, at
We
their
knew that.
limits.
we knew that was,
So,
we heard through the grapevine that was coming sooner than later.
yeah,
At least
I
I
don't
did.
think they're looking, well, I shouldn't speak for her, but my feeling was that they weren't looking for a new library. They just needed a little more space
For programs.
for their
Because
programs.
they're very, another thing, very successful, and they're running, you know,
Right.
more and more people, and they're just running out of space.
When is the microphone on? Because it hasn't been
Oh,
recent.
is it
is
on?
it on?
Is it on?
Do we know how to turn it
I
on?
don't know how to turn it on.
Is it red or green?
O-N, right?
O-N, that's on.
Last time I checked,
How are we doing? That better?
it's just the people at home now just
You blew
blew
their
off
ears
their
out.
TV, but it doesn't do anything here.
Someone just fell off their chair.
You could, I mean, it's pretty well, I mean, it picks you up,
As
I mean,
long- as
you
long
can
as
put
it's
it right
on,
back
yeah.
in the space.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, so let's talk.
Okay, well, the memo that I sent in November was really suggesting that a committee be formed to really investigate the feasibility of it, the spaces that might be available, land for a new building, existing buildings that
Let's
could
do
be
it.
rehabbed.
Work with the schools, maybe with the new high school,
There's so many possibilities.
Something like
But you
that?
really need to have a very strong and active committee that can investigate all options and really delve into it.
So, let's make a motion that we form an intergenerational center committee. Anybody want to second that?
Second.
Of what?
Of how many people?
Of who, yeah, who?
Well, in,
Well, why don't we just have, let's say, it's better sooner than later. Let's
Okay.
start the committee.
No,
I know
y-
two
yeah.
people that are we're gonna appoint after we start the committee.
Well,
We gotta move on this.
yes, let's do it, but like,
Yeah.
what do we, like, is it 3 people, 5 people, 7 people?
I don't know. Who knows?
In the memo that I sent, and that was
Seven?
just a suggestion, that we have the senior center director be a part of it. 2 members from the Council on Aging, a member from Park and Rec, 2 at-large members, and a selectman. Now,
How many is
if the
that?
library is interested, maybe a representative from the library would be appropriate.
Somebody,
And
the more people you get involved, I
That's
think.
a lot of people.
No, I agree, but the more people you get involved, yeah, because I don't think this is gonna be easy, the more resources and brain power we can get, and I think it will work. The more people you bring in, I think it's, it'll be more successful, I think, at the end. That's my own personal
I
opinion.
agree.
You know, you start bringing people,
Well, the other thing is, because it is going to be from different segments of the population, you're going to gather more support from different groups, I
Right.
think. So-
what about somebody from the school, a school committee member? You even think about that idea of,
Yeah,
because
if
that
it's-
was something that I sat through, going to meetings about educating our, Tom, you were at those meetings also. And I'm not sure if we want to do it because it gets not dicey, but it gets more complicated maybe because it's a regional school. But that was a trend, like you said, they're bringing more multi-generational things in, so they have the community centers close to the schools, so then the kids and the adults can work together and stuff like that.
Yeah, how do we get the student population adequately represented if it's truly, intergenerational?
Yeah.
I think we've got fair representation on one side and just to have
Then
some
we try
balance.
the two,
Well, that's Tom, is the young.
yeah,
is the
but
young-
then the
I-
two,
I-
represents the young.
but then the two at-large members, we can try to make sure that they're from a different aspect, a different,
We
you
could
know.
have high school students
high school.
representing,
That's a good idea.
yeah. Kids are very good at that.
That'd be a good
But I mean,
experience.
I mean, I would love, I mean, it might be too late for this town meeting, maybe not. But get a committee together, and then with some good ideas, and then go to town meeting with a little bit of seed money that you might need. And then really go forth and work on it strong, and the next town meeting, really put something forth to the town. You know what I mean? Because we gotta move on it. I mean, it's one of those things that if we wait, there's no, get all the information, put something. We have enough land in this town that we're going to do things with that could be with a new building, or refit something that we already own, or something.
Are we,
We do have a couple empty buildings.
are we still eligible to go to the town meeting and receive monies? Is there a time
Yeah, she's
deadline
there.
coming up?
Yeah, there's
We're
a,
s- we're
but we could
okay?
put a placeholder in for
All
it,
right.
something that we said we weren't gonna do for anybody else.
All right,
Only important issues. I mean, I'd like to see something like that. And with the land that we have, a new building possibly, with fields with it, that, you know what I mean? It's just not a building that, that seniors and kids can enjoy, and, just everything that we hope,
yes,
just
yes,
everything that, that would be awesome.
right.
Because I've said, and I've said this to Tom 1,000 times, it's because of where we live, but there is such a gap. Like where I grew up, there was a huge recreation department. It went all year, but there's a gap. We're not on public transportation. We lose kids, after they're done with those, softball and baseball and soccer that, everybody plays, and then it kind of starts weeding kids out. And it's very social there, and the kids are all, then it starts weeding kids out when it gets a little bit more serious. And then, we do a lot, but there's a little gap then to the kids get to driving.
That gap usually relates to becoming a teenager, seriously. And all towns have this. It's difficult to organize teenagers for town activities, so to speak, but you have to try it. We want to try.
But if you don't even have a place, we
Right.
can't even try.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I went over to Lawrence when my daughter was on a travel basketball team on Saturdays, and they had a whole different things going on there. It was a place where kids went, and if they weren't into sports, they had other things for them, and it was just, it was phenomenal. It was just like a community.
I'd love to get a high school junior, so we have a year and a half with them, be part of this committee.
Yeah.
The right
I
person.
think you may want to think about having someone that is maybe a builder or someone that can really look at what we have to
Well, I
see
wouldn't,
whether
when we start doing
it's
stuff like
feasible or
that,
not.
when we start doing stuff like that, we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we can't find anybody. I would rather get the ideas, and then get it going, and then we can maybe add people, or have somebody come in and for 2 meetings that's a builder, and
Right.
says, listen, this is what will work. These are our ideas. We've researched it, we've talked to people, you know. I mean, I don't know, we do, you don't
Even
need-
get people, say, from wherever, North Andover or something, that have a community center, you know, what do they,
Yeah, the
what do
one that
they
in
do?
Newbury-
Yeah.
Newburyport has a fabulous.
The one that
library.
Newburyport was just built.
Did
Ask
they,
somebody to come down and just speak, I mean, or go there and say, hey, could we bend your ear?
what did they do with theirs? Did they retrofit a school or build a new building, or what was that?
They built-
It's, I think it's
Which
Newbury.
community?
community center behind it is the old Brown School, on Brown School.
So they retrofitted a school?
And then they
Yeah.
built part of the senior center. Bresnahan, I'm sorry, Bresnahan.
It's
They built
sort of,
part the
it's sort of both. It's part,
Bresnahan,
yeah,
yeah.
Bresnahan
The
School.
Is on the right-hand side,
Got you.
going in?
Yep.
So what can we do? Because like everything,
Let's,
it's easy to
How-
talk, and then, so we'll appoint you guys and appoint some other members, what do you want to do?
How do we find a couple of kids that would be interested?
That's
It's,
easy.
I mean, we're
That's
talking
easy.
about it, but then the next step is how do we actually find these people?
Well, he'd
that's
probably
that's
be
easy.
related to 72, maybe 80 kids that are in
I bet he can come up with a couple.
At least.
I
And
think
and
so.
another 120 are probably going through their houses in the course of a weekend.
That's no problem. No problem.
Okay.
So why don't we, okay,
We also have a couple of people who had expressed an interest in being on the committee through the senior center, that are not council on aging members.
so why don't we put it to you guys, and then you just email the names to Chris, and then we'll appoint everybody at our next meeting. Because I think, and then we'll have a representative from the selectmen as one. I wouldn't mind doing this unless you guys want to do it, doesn't matter to me.
Have at it.
Okay.
Can I guess just as a supporter of the arts, can we just have somebody who's maybe a kid who's also not heavily involved in the sports program?
Sure.
That's a good
Absolutely,
idea.
Have
yeah.
one,
Yeah.
Yeah, have a balance.
Have a
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, that's excellent.
It would be nice, I think it would help us if there was a motion adopted to form a committee to go forth with this idea.
Yeah, we're gonna,
I had a motion on the floor.
Correct.
It's been seconded by somebody, I thought.
Me.
second,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought Art
Whatever.
seconded it. So we're gonna vote on it. All in favor?
aye.
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 Terrific.
I'd like to appoint Marge Peterson and Tom Flaherty to that committee. Can we vote you as co-chair people?
Well, you know, I sent the memo, I'm not so sure I want to be on the committee.
Oh, Marge.
But, you know, if,
She is.
Now, wait a minute.
This is what happened. You've been prodding me for how long? And I actually drove by your house.
I think it's a great idea.
Before this was on the thing, I drove by your house and said, I have to call her. And I said, I emailed you, and that's when it bumped back, because I knew you were prodding us on this. I said, we gotta get going on this.
All right, well, I will do it unless there's someone else on the council that would really love to be on it.
Well,
You're on it.
you're on it. The motion's on the floor that you and Tom are co-chair people. And make it co, so, you know what I mean? You have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. And in that committee, that it's the senior center director, okay?
Another member of the,
And so there's 3 on there already,
And Glenn Kemper.
and then a
That's 4.
selectman representative, which will be me.
Yep.
And then 2 kids, and another person.
and someone from the library? You want,
Yeah, somebody from the library. I don't think the committee can be, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of work, so you
there
want.
is, and it can be broken down into subcommittees once.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work. You go research the land that's available in town. You talk to here, what are the needs, you know? You know,
Okay.
somebody might spend an
Yeah.
afternoon over in Newburyport, and, you know, whatever, so.
Well, I think there has to be, you know, is it feasible? What's the needs assessment? really looking into it, you know, and then going from there.
I'm trying to think, there was a study done about 2 or 3 years ago on, people had, I'm blanking on it, but there were questions about things like that. Do we have the results of that?
We do.
The survey?
Yeah.
We do.
I think it came,
No, well,
number
no.
1 or 2 was a built-in pool. So
But there are-
was, I wouldn't, and I'm not even kidding. I mean, I generally joke, but no, that was true. So we need a town pool. So,
Are you referring to the Park and Rec survey 5 years ago, or the open space survey
10 years ago.
deeper than that?
No, I'm thinking of the Park and Rec one,
Yeah,
yeah.
open space was
Right.
like 10 or 8 years ago.
That's a long time ago, yeah.
Right.
These two people right here, with the people that we're gonna put on the committee, we know what we need. And it is feasible. When you say, is anything feasible, it's like if you have a kid. I mean, can you afford a kid? And you always say, no, but you can. You know what I mean? Because you make it work. This is something I think the town needs and should have. So let's make it work. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, it's feasible. Because as soon as you start doing that, nothing's feasible. But this, you know what I mean? And that analogy with the kid, nobody can afford to have a kid, but it always works.
So the high school kids, the at-large, or even also the two at-large?
Yeah, I don't know.
I listed that separately.
Yeah.
At-large members.
What we're gonna
and
do
high
is,
school.
But that wasn't part of your motion.
the makeup of the committees
In flux.
in flux.
Yeah.
So when we're still willing to have people, because you know what I mean, you're gonna need you could have 9 people on the committee.
So it's okay to advertise that you're looking for.
Please.
Yeah.
You never know, we could say no, or we could say sure. Okay, thank you.
Good.
I guess we're
Terrific
good.
answer, Maya. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So it's up to you guys to set the first meeting. You two.
Co-chairman.
Deal.
Let's get it going. Housing Authority?
Management.
Margie, if you had gone to the bathroom, you would have been the only chairperson. And then the bottle washer and the cook and everything. And you know, you can get it started and other people can come on. I mean, hey, how are you? Happy New Year.
Not bad.
Housing Authority Management Agreement of Pipestave Hill Apartments.
Apartment house.
Yep.
The one-year agreement with options to renew lapsed June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
The Housing Board has discussed it, and our accountant has some suggested changes.
Do you have those tonight?
I don't have them with me tonight. What I'd like to ask your permission to confer with town council to see how they would meld or fit with the existing agreement.
There's good news or bad news? These generally when you get a lawyer or an accountant giving suggestions, it's generally
Well,
not good news.
that's why I double checked, but since council has formulated the last
Mhm. Yeah.
several agreement,
I got you.
just kind of update the figures. And the housing board is meeting the end of the month, 28th, I believe, 28th, 29th.
So are you gonna meet with them on the 28th and then come back to Mike, or are you gonna go to Mike and then go to the housing
Talk to
board?
Mike first.
Okay.
Iron out a draft.
That they can live
proposed
with, and then you come back
draft that
to us?
we can check it, you can look at it,
Mhm.
and then get back on the agenda to have a formal acceptance.
Bert, does like an annual report in terms of, you know, a financial statement or anything get created for just the apartment or no, or anything like that, or so that we sort of know at least in and out what happens with that? Do we get anything like that?
I think there's something in the contract that says that, isn't there?
The
Yeah,
contract-
but
the
I
contract
don't ever
has
remember seeing one.
some requirements. What the town has got from the Housing Authority accountant really doesn't spell out the terms of the contract or the agreement, which is why I would like to
Okay.
look at it. I can get you a copy of what the last financial statement is.
If you could, that'd be great.
That's good, that's good, yeah.
That's a start.
All right.
Gary, did you have a question?
Yeah, a couple actually on that. Since you're redoing the agreement, what's done up there for maintenance, who does what, all that really needs to be looked into and straightened out.
Okay, you have that, Mike?
So right now, I get the calls for just about everything goes on there, where we go up and have to deal with it.
Okay.
Building needs quite a bit of outside maintenance work, windows, siding, paint, all kinds of, needs a lot of work on the outside.
When will that building not need a lot of work?
Well, that,
When
the
it's torn
siding,
down?
that wasn't addressed when they rehabbed.
When we
I
sell
know.
it, when we get rid of it,
Yeah.
that's when it won't need work.
And, I don't know what the rentals are up there, but,
They all go by the state formula, don't they?
but there should be a little more left over than enough to pay the oil bill and the water bill and collect the rents. You know, I've asked a couple times over the years if there any money left so we could put into the building, there's never anything there to do.
Isn't there supposed to be some type of, wasn't that the big thing when you took it over, that there had to be the rents and the contingency, that there had to be enough money there in case something happened to that building? And there isn't a,
That's been the ongoing problem.
A replacement reserve
When
account, yeah.
the town received a grant to rehab the building, the town also separated the parcel, put housing restrictions, income-related, et
Yeah.
cetera, put in a leaching field, all on a separate parcel. The intent was to have DCHD take it over and
Yep.
operate it. After several years, the information finally filtered down from DCHD that there wasn't enough reserved or surplus for them to take it over. I've asked the director for the Housing Authority, who's in contact with DCHD, to see if they can come up with a number, what the surplus should be, which could then give the town an option to say, like, set aside that amount of funds to perhaps ensure that DCHD would take the whole thing off the town's hands.
but it has, that reserve fund has to be self-perpetuating in the sense that they have to have a little bit of money off the rent, so every year a little bit needs to go into this reserve account in case something happens to the building, and that's the reason
Right.
why they didn't want to take it over. And then we asked, that's why we have this management agreement with the housing authority, so you manage
Sort of a
it forward.
catch-22.
Yeah. So, but since it's not done by that, we could actually raise the rates, couldn't we? Because it's not an it's not the building, it's only managed by us. So we could maybe go up on the rent just a tad to try to start creating some type of
That's
reserve?
something that could be looked into.
Yeah, because we don't have to, we follow the state formula that they do
Right.
over here, but we don't have to because they
It's
didn't
not,
accept
it's
the
not
building.
one of their properties, no.
Correct.
That would be something we'd like to look into. And then, if we looked at that balance, with that balance sheet, that financial statement, we could see a break even somewhere. And maybe put something towards it. Obviously, it needs a lot of work. It's not gonna be enough, but
No, that's,
something.
all right, so
Okay, so do you have any problem with him working with,
No, it's fine.
No.
And
No,
if
I
you
think
could work with them
I think
too,
we need to
to
do
make
that.
sure that,
Yeah, the last thing we did big there was the roof, we went for CPA funds for that.
Mhm.
Probably do the
You've
same
done
for
stuff
the
like that.
siding and windows.
okay, but
Sounds
just,
like a good idea.
just,
I know, but
you
I'm
be
just-
part of it. Yep, I got you. If you,
So
okay.
Gary, do you get like, if there's a, I don't know, what happens when
Well, the
there's a
last call we got-
toilet, what happens when there's a leaking toilet? Who gets the call?
If they don't respond, we respond. The last call we got was a septic order, so we had to go up and inlet of the septic tank, we had to get the septic tank pumped out. You know,
It seems
Things
like
like that.
we shouldn't be doing that, no.
Yeah, but it's our building and nobody,
I
there's
know.
not enough money there.
Exactly, so, I mean, long-term, yeah.
Yeah, so let's work it out.
yeah.
According to them, we're responsible for all outside maintenance, and they just do inside stuff.
The reason why we did it this way too is because of the, it counts towards our inventory, that we don't have any of.
Oh, I realize that.
Well, I think any apartment we own, whether it's, doesn't have to be, all apartments, I think, count as if the town owns them, whether they're.
We don't
No,
have
we're
to
talking
own,
about
we
our-
don't have to
our-
own it ourselves.
No, we don't.
No.
But we might come to the realization that we just can't do it too.
Yep.
You know, we tried, you know what I mean? I would like to, obviously, offer that.
Well, let's
Well, it
look at the
should-
numbers, let's see them, yeah.
We might have to, you know,
It should support itself, I think. It's,
it has to.
well, it isn't.
I know. That's what we're gonna look into. We're gonna look into it.
I'm not saying it couldn't be with what they get for rents, but it isn't going towards a I don't know what the.
I understand.
I know.
But we're gonna get some figures, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna
700
redo the
piece or
thing, that's
something.
fine.
Is it, Gary, is it oil?
Yeah, the heat system's new when they did the building, that's brand new.
Okay.
Okay, next
The
thing?
Second item I discussed, while Gary's here, emergency generator.
Yep.
We'd like to bring that up again, perhaps as a shared venture with the town. Several, 3 years ago maybe, Gary had an engineer come up with several options or designs with pricing attached to them. I talked to Gary, see if he was interested in bringing the project up again, and we come to the conclusion that since it's been down this road before, one of the first things we should do is discuss with your board whether or not you would be willing to support and back such a proposal. Initially, the Housing Authority would say do a 50-50 split. The Housing Authority would seek CPA funds through Community Housing Reserve.
We already I went to CPA originally, and they approved, I think it was 99,000 put towards it originally. So that would be the town contribution. So what's the housing's contribution?
I mean, I'm betwixt and between because I've had a mother-in-law in an electric chair who was handicapped in the reclining position when the power went off. And, you know, literally have to call 911 to, you know, she's,
Well,
you know what I mean? She can't move unless she's got her, alarm thing with her or whatever. She didn't. She was there for 3 hours, 4 hours until somebody heard her banging on the wall when the power went off one time. But so I think it should be, something should be over there for the seniors. There's oxygen, they need oxygen, there's certain things they need when the power goes off. But then a 50-50 split, the town doesn't need it 50% of it. This thing works fine for us for the amount of time we use it. So, I mean, is there any way that it can be a little bit more generous because you guys need it more than we need it? Could it be more like a 70-30 or something like that? I wouldn't then support that, but not a 50-50 because we got something out here that's been there for 30 years, but it's been working fine.
Well, I think they're looking for CPA money, so I mean, it'd be kind of town-funded 100%.
Yeah, but I guess it's the theory. It's their money. I mean, the town can't touch that money. It's theoretically can only be used by them. So it's their.
For community housing purposes.
Yeah, so I don't see any more community housing projects happening. So why not try to better what we have through those funds, because you're just gonna sit there and do nothing. So it's literally not our money, it's the state's money and the town's money.
Just, it's
Well,
CPA
you know what I mean, in your account, so I don't look at it that way.
Right, but on the other hand, you're using perhaps the annex as a emergency shelter.
Yeah,
It's
we have, but
it's
we
possible,
do it
yeah.
up at the police station,
You
in the
can- yeah.
conference room. I'm just throwing out,
Yeah.
initially my thoughts that
No, but again, your generator here is what, 25 years old or something?
30 probably.
Whatever.
You have tractors that are older than that you still use.
Yeah, I know.
That you would never buy a new one.
They still work.
Exactly. But my point being on the money, on the 70/30, is that if you, it's just hypothetically, it all comes out of CPA money. But since I think it's a bigger need for them than us, it takes it out of their funds, so it still keeps more funds in the accounts, the general fund or whatever, so we can do other things in the town. So, you're not taking that money away from other projects. That's
what you're
my
saying.
point.
How much
because
does this cost approximately, Gary?
It'll be over $100,000
Is
now.
it 100 grand, or how much is it,
Yeah, if you,
roundabout?
the last quote just for the generator hooked up was, I think, 86,000.
It's $100,000 at least.
There's miscellaneous other stuff, and I'm sure it's gone up.
And that's
installed.
that's installed?
Yeah.
And where would you put it?
But the other question is it stupid to just do the apartments and not do the annex? So do we get a?
If we were gonna do that, I mean.
I don't think you'd save that much by splitting them up.
You don't?
Well, not splitting, I would not even do ours.
What
We wouldn't
we-
do ours, keep ours and let them do their own.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Would we save money by doing?
We
that?
don't need a new one.
Well,
No, but the 100 is sort of making a big giant one that does everything.
yeah, but the
That's
100
kinda
to
what he's
do
saying.
everything could be cheaper than them separating it, because the 100 one, we were gonna tie on the grid side of the power lines coming in, and they were gonna give us a little something during blackout, brownout times, and give us money to turn the generator on for a few hours during the
Really?
day. That time, and there would be less work installing it on that side. If you start separating the building,
Where
it's
is
electric.
this gonna be?
Oh, where the transformers are out there in the parking lot, be over on that side, and the bushes there.
That's where it was engineered.
Right.
So it's gonna be a
where the
huge
sign
diesel
is
engine
out
that's gonna
front.
go off during blackouts, so we're gonna
Well,
get phone calls
yeah.
from the neighbors.
It'd probably be propane.
It's still.
I mean, not natural gas, since
Still,
we have gas.
it's still a motor.
That time, we didn't have gas before, it would have been a diesel.
The units come with an sound package, which run pretty quiet.
Well, I can,
Well,
so-
it is
so-
what it is, but I would like to see more, I would support it if it was more money from the housing authority, because I think the need is greater over there.
When you say more money, you mean more CPA housing
Or whatever they do,
specific
they could
money?
get a grant, I don't know, they could get a grant from the
If
state.
that site right there didn't work, we'd probably have to put it out by the garage out back and wire it back over to here,
Well,
or
that,
somewhere.
it is what it is at the end, yeah.
It's just gonna add cost.
Why don't you,
What happens when okay, the power's out, what do you need to run the pilot to get the thing go? I suppose you'd have to have a battery. I'm just like, okay, the power's out, and so you've got it running on natural gas.
It's an engine that runs on natural gas, right?
Exactly, but you have to get a spark. You have
There's
to
a battery in there.
there's like a car battery in it. It runs once a week to keep it charged and it keeps
Right.
Like your home
Okay.
generators, it auto.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It automatically
Okay, I've never heard of one running on natural gas, that's all.
Yeah.
Ours runs on propane, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. At my buildings, they, you're walking up the loading dock, and every week, he's right, they go on to make sure they fire and go on.
They run for
They
15
forget
minutes.
about them, and they scare you, and the birds fly out of them.
I would say, let's ask Gary to go and get a cost estimate and bring it back for both buildings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you talk to them about a bigger commitment, that's what I would,
That's,
I mean, that, you
I don't-
understand, even though it's CPA money, but you understand what I'm saying? Be more money out of your fund, so there's no more taken out of this fund,
This fund,
so
right.
then the town could spend it on other things on this end.
I mean, I don't want to speak
They
for
got
that.
money there they'll never use, probably.
Right.
that part.
no, I
Oh,
just-
you're
I
saying,
Exactly.
Glenn, you're saying you want more out of the community housing part, is that what?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
I mean, the whole,
Yeah,
if-
because like a 70-30 split. We
No.
would use it 30%, they would use it 70%.
the whole thing is
Or
CPA, the whole thing is CPA funded because this is a historic building and that's housing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know that they're going to
might free cash it.
They may not agree
I
that,
wouldn't want to do that.
that a generator is
It-
Yeah, does that fit
acceptable.
under-
It protects
does that
Is
fit
an acceptable
It
CPA
that
it
fit under
expense?
protects, it
guideline?
protects the asset, right, Mike?
It was before. I already been to them when we were gonna do it before, they approved. the
Oh, they did,
99,000.
okay, all right, I didn't know that.
That's
Okay.
then, I don't know
Okay.
now, you got a whole different committee members.
Preservation.
But I agree, it should be like, it all should be CPA and somewhere,
The generator that we have now does this building. It doesn't do the heat.
It just does emergency lights basically in the basement.
It doesn't do the
and
heat?
Up here, and
Up
it
here.
does some computers and stuff like that, but it doesn't do heat. But we don't need it anyways, because when we have an emergency situation, everybody goes home. Out there, you know what I mean? We've never needed it here,
well,
because everybody goes home.
if the power's out for 3 days and it's 20 degrees outside, we would need it.
We were, a few years ago, we had that ice storm there, yes,
Mhm.
we were borderline whether to have, almost had to get a, temporary heat to put in here, it was getting cold.
30 years.
That's
ago.
once in
Yeah.
50 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it ain't like
But I mean,
it's-
everybody goes home, but they don't go home there, they live there. You know, so
Right.
the need
They
is
are
greater.
home.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. So if you could go back, yeah.
I'm waiting for the updated cost. I thought I
Okay.
would, probably have it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Unfinished business?
This is a big list.
Yeah, I just asked her to put it together. It's just something that we always do. And let's just start,
It's like, okay, what do we actually need to address on? Is there anything we don't need to address? And then, like, what are the couple things we should put on for the next couple times?
yeah, we can just start picking away at it.
Is the pump out boat a moot point now? The Haverhill thing?
What we can do is, everybody look on here, what they're responsible, what they think they might be responsible for. Like Archie would be the website, he would be Whittier, Gary would be maintenance of Pay School, and then we'll just start, dogs in the fields we're taking care of. There's a band on that. You can't, we voted, you can't have dogs in the field
Right.
anymore. We voted on that.
Mike's taking care of the air handlers.
The
That's,
sidewalks is done because that was taken care of, they came in. Finance committee members not. The Verizon Comcast, I could speak to that, because Mike and I had a comment. Mr. Nevy's back from Florida, yeah. So stuff like this, pick out what you want, and maybe there even might be other things on here, Mike D. or somebody else might have something, and then we'll just, talk about it, you know what I mean? We'll start picking things apart. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to get it rolling, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think one thing that, what happened with the, that I think maybe just to bring it out tonight, what happened with the ambulance contract? Or is that up? Did we sign it, or what's the deal with that?
You had said that you didn't want them to come in at that time.
No, hold on. Yeah, but that was something totally different. The ambulance, we have an ambulance contract, no?
Right. Yes.
It's in place. Yeah.
We did it in last June.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did
okay,
it. It was-
okay, so
I was
the
gonna ask
fact
them
that
to come in.
that wasn't related to it's expiring?
No, this
Oh,
was
okay.
about call times and volume, and they sent us a lot of paperwork. I actually met them both. They introduced themselves to me at Lisa's going away party, and they were there. And then they sent a lot of information over to Chris, so I feel more comfortable. I'm the one who asked them to come in. So that's kind of their.
Okay,
because
but
we
it
were
wasn't
getting
like,
some-
it wasn't like we're at a deadline for it to...
No,
okay,
that's actually
okay.
taken care of. Okay, so, anything else?
No.
Nope.
Something on here too, let's all brainstorm, like, weren't you gonna get a committee going, or somebody was gonna get a committee going about, money going towards, projects down at the school?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Mike.
Yeah, that should be on this, stuff like that should be on here too. I know, but I mean, so all of us kind of think about what we're working on, and then put it on here, just so we don't forget about stuff. Because that's happened in years past. That's all this was. This is a thing that, we just
Okay.
try to put stuff down, and so it doesn't, in June, somebody comes up to us and goes, when are you guys gonna do that? We forgot. That's about it.
Okay, good.
This wasn't really like to do, it's just to try to get us anything that's gone through the thing. Okay, make a motion to accept the minutes of November 16th as amended.
Second.
Archie?
Fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of December 14th.
As
As
amended.
amended.
Second.
Archie? Okay.
I looked at it, yep.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Minutes of December 28th, as amended.
I wasn't
Archie?
Uh,
It was really nice.
Second.
You could have just driven by. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Make a motion to approve the invoice warrant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hang on, there was one, I had a question about one of them.
You got it. You have the floor.
Invoice.
Chris, while Archie's doing that, can you send a letter to the superintendent and say that we would like to have a, representative from the Selectmen, the police would love to come down and talk to them on a roundtable thing.
Selectmen and the police.
Yep, sit down and talk about security and safety. If they could, you guys want to come?
Depends what it is.
So that's what I'm saying. When's the best time for you?
Oh. Let me know when it is, I'll let you know.
Afternoon? Particular day? Think about it.
Yeah.
A Wednesday or a Monday? Okay.
A Monday afternoon would be awesome.
Like really late Monday afternoon.
The latest they can do on a Monday afternoon. Sound good?
5
Yep.
o'clock.
The latest they can do on a Monday afternoon.
As far as the invoices, I forgot, it wasn't serious. David put down to take a early payment discount, but it's impossible because we're already way past the,
Good for him trying. Okay.
it ain't happening, yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the payroll warrant.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Placing things on future agenda. Joe?
Nothing.
Wow, look at you. Archie?
I just throw this out. I wonder if we should have a very small thing, but I like the signs that we've put up related to the CPC projects. And just, I thought it would be a good idea that people know that the solar field is owned by the town and what's going on with it. It just.
Could you do a
there's
story
no-
about that?
There's no information about the fact that it's out there.
I can ask.
When's the opening? The ribbon cutting?
We're gonna have a ribbon cutting?
January 20th.
Yeah.
They want to do something at the page, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have kind of just an informational session with they're gonna have it all.
We can definitely get a photographer, I hope, there.
Yeah.
He and I talked about it.
Okay, good. So maybe after that, she
Maybe,
can do a nice story
Like
and
a long
quotes
outline or
about
something. Yeah.
information. and-
Right, but I still think some type of sign would be nice too.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know where you were going with that. My mistake. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. So why don't we talk to the Energy Committee?
And, this is produced, somewhat just sort of like a little informational plaque that,
Yeah.
this is doing such and such.
Let's
and-
talk to the
yeah.
Energy Committee and we could get something together. You know what I mean? Get them involved since they were
I could,
part of
Yeah.
it.
I could contact Amoresco and talk to them about it. He's coming by actually on Wednesday.
Ask him if, we'd like an informational sign, so if people stop by, they have a,
You mean like at the trail you mean by the end of the fence there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
on.
On
But I
113.
mean, it would be,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to read it from the street though.
No.
Somebody wants to stop
If
and look at it,
someone wants
it's
to stop and say, whose
Okay.
is this? And
Maybe you
that
could
kind of thing, yeah.
instead of even putting it by the fence, put it by the trailhead there.
there. That sounds great.
Either way, at the top or the bottom, I don't know, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll talk to them about it. I'm sure they'd be amenable to that.
Good. Yeah, those CPs, we have those signs.
I saw
That
him at the
was-
library.
Huh?
I saw him at the library.
Yeah, and there's one.
And also by the-
There's
They
one
were
at
bought, they were bought with the administrative money,
Years ago?
8 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, they're in
How
the
come
basement.
How come we never used them?
We didn't have enough projects.
Oh.
When we had the projects, they were out. I mean, yeah, at the shoe shop, we had one there.
Really? Oh, okay, I didn't, okay.
But you're right in the
Yeah.
sense that like Gary said, the committee changes all the time, I think I missed a meeting, or I was coming in, and somebody said, you know, we should have signs, and these projects are going on. I went down to the basement, I picked the sign up, because they're heavy, and brought it up, and said, I go, yeah, we bought these, I don't know, 6 years ago. We go, oh, great, because, no, he's used them, we've used them. Okay.
Isn't there one in front of the, car building?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
We have a dog hearing next week. So,
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, I mean, excuse me, our next meeting. Chris, I've gained a little weight. My flak jacket, my bulletproof vest doesn't fit. Could you see if there's another one? It's baptized, this is baptized by, but I mean, but, so, the reason why I say that is because, I don't know if you've read up on it, but they have changed since the rules and regulations have changed since the last time we've had one. So the reason why I'm saying is that make sure you're up to date with Mike on the new rules and
Do we
regulations.
have a copy of them we can read?
Mike will give them to you. I think he's already sent, he sent
He
this
did.
over a while ago.
He did.
He
did?
did. I just want to make sure, because they have changed since the last time, and I don't think either of you guys were on the board, but we can't send dogs out of town anymore. Yeah. Yeah, but you're not reporting on this, right?
Yes, I am.
Not now.
Well, you're
This is a-
talking at a public.
This is a public,
Well, I'm just, okay.
it's
well,
on
I'm-
TV.
Well,
It's on
just,
TV.
okay, but I'm just, well, I didn't want to, I'm just saying that we have a dog hearing, I'm asking everybody to get up to date on the new regulations, because it's a serious situation, we have to make sure that we're up
You
to
have
date
it?
on it, because it has changed
Do you
since the last
have the
time
new
we've had it.
regulation
Not all that.
Okay,
Do
that's
you
it.
have the new
And I'm just giving you an
regulations
example, like,
that Mike gave out?
About that?
Yeah.
okay,
I also, sent it over to Scott Purdy, the ACO.
perfect. And you have that first. Put that on
I
the,
think, yes, it's already on there, I think.
okay. Okay, actually, did you have anything?
No.
That's it.
It's one thing we can put on the future, talk about. River Meadow,
Excuse me.
will it be ready for the springtime,
I didn't hear what you said.
River Meadow? I was just,
Oh,
We've been working with with an engineer, and it's difficult to put in the septic system, doesn't quite fit. And so what we've done is I've authorized him to do some additional testing to see if we could,
go somewhere else with it?
well, not go somewhere else, but
Or just
basically
move
move
it a
it, give it a
little?
little, give it a little,
reconfigure it.
reconfigure a little bit so that there'll be no waivers in the design.
Mhm.
So we have a design you have in your office, a copy of the design plans.
Mhm.
We recently, I gave a copy to Chris of an update from Cameron Engineering, saying where we are. All the work's in place. Now we're just waiting on that, some additional testing to see
Okay.
where we stand.
When should that be? Weeks,
They
months?
can't do it
If-
now, can they?
No, the weather's not, has not cooperated, so it would have to be
Spring.
done in the spring.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Make a motion to go into executive session, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, and executive session meeting.
Second.
Minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.